Today is Friday, July 4, 2025. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Our text is from Philippians 2. And then I will be able to boast on the day of Christ, that I did not run or labor in vain. But even if I am being poured out like a drink offering on the sacrifice and service coming from your faith, I am glad and rejoice with all of you. So you too should be glad and rejoice with me. Philippians 2, 16b to 18. We are still following Paul's reflections on working out our salvation with fear and trembling. This phrase does not mean nervous apprehension with which the guilty face a judge. Rather, it expresses the awe that we experience in the presence of God. Now we discover that this fear and trembling includes joy, the deep foundational joy of the Christian life. The salvation process in which we participate along with the Holy Spirit is worked out in all circumstances, even in pain, suffering, loss, death, prison, uncertainty, perplexity. It is not that we are glad for the pain, but we know the suffering is temporary and that God is at work within it. So even during unpleasant circumstances, we know the joy of our salvation. Psalm 51:12. This joy does not ignore the suffering of loss or the darkness of depression. It does not suggest that every Christian should be happy every day. Rather, it comes from the sacrifices we willingly make for the sake of the gospel. It is the joy that comes when our sacrifices result in others entering the shalom of God's kingdom. In Hebrews we read, "For the joy set before him, Jesus endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." It's chapter 12, verse 2. Our salvation was wrought through the shame and suffering of this cross. Christ's suffering also stands as an example for us to follow. He endured the torture, at least in part, because he knew the joy salvation would bring to us. Likewise, we are called to suffer for the sake of the gospel, because of the joy it will bring to others. Here is an element of the Christian faith that we may resist. My parents speak of the sacrifices they made to establish churches and Christian schools and to send out missionaries. They would go without for the sake of the kingdom. Have you made such a sacrifice? Take some time to reflect on this. Let the Holy Spirit speak truth to you. The Philippians have done much and sacrificed much to aid Paul in his proclamation of the gospel. He names this the sacrifice and service coming from your faith. In Leviticus, there are several passing references to a drink offering, commonly understood as a small and final offering. It was still common practice in pagan rituals in Paul's day. He alludes to his potential death as but a drink offering, added to all the sacrifices the Philippian Christians have made for the gospel, in the process of working out their salvation with fear and trembling. He will be glad to give his life for the sake of the gospel, in addition to all that the Philippians have given. Paul views the Philippians' continued obedience and steadfastness amid persecution as an offering to God of greater worth than the offering of his own apostolic labors that may end in his death. We have no animals to bring, but we do have a sacrifice acceptable to God, the gift of a life of obedience, character building, holiness, and witness, the life to which our faith prompts us. This is our priestly service to God. May we all joyfully offer it to him. As you continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.